Okay, this is my second attempt. Apparently my first one was too long, and so it won't let me post it. Here we go, we got cantaloupe. The reason I'm growing 2 new cantaloupes is because that one is a female, and it can't reproduce on its own, so I need 2 new ones. Hopefully one of them will be a male. Some micro onions, thought that was cool. Marigolds, supposed to be insect repellents, but I keep getting grasshoppers trying to come eat them, so I've managed to kill 2 of them so far, but they come back every now and then. Like for that one, that guy got eaten up, but he's finally starting to show some new growth. Some carrots, never bothered to replant those on account of the fact that I'm probably going to be moving, well, I am going to be moving down the road over there, and won't have any room for a garden over there, so we're making do with what we got and getting rid of some stuff. In the meantime, these here are my apple trees. I think they're pretty cool. Those are just regular apple seeds from Fuji apples. This here is my aloe. Didn't expect for it to actually do this well. It is actually starting to come back to life now. This here was catnip until I cut it apart and diced it all up, and am drying it out inside the house right now for Mogget because he loves the stuff. So here's my mulberry bush. As you can see, a couple of mulberries growing on the tips. I would have more, except for the bees did not fully do their job and only pollinated a few flowers. This here's my strawberry plant that took me for freaking ever to get to germinate. I had to try several different tactics. Some were sticking it in the freezer so that they thought it was winter and then they would germinate, but they never did. Some were cutting them into slices and getting slices planted, and that didn't work. I scraped seeds off of tomatoes and planted them, and that didn't work. Drying seeds, fresh seeds, none of it worked until finally I went and bought seeds for it, and they eventually did work. I've got 1, 2, and 3 runners and 1 main plant in the middle. She should start putting out flowers and fruit next year. Elephant garlic. Took me forever, 2.5 months, and this thing never put out a single leaf. Which is what these guys over here did. They put out leaves really quickly, but they're also only in 6 inches of dirt versus a 5-gallon bucket. These guys had a huge root system that I never knew was there until one day I tried to dig them up thinking that they were dead, and boom, there was a clove with a huge root system. My peppers got 1, 2, 3, and 4. One big one in the middle, obviously, and somewhere over here. Oh, there it is. Yep, there's another one. Swiss chard. Takes a beating every single day from the 95 degrees plus that we get every day. Usually gets up to 98. Sometimes we had 102 not too long ago. It has been killing everybody in this corner over there. That's why they're in that corner, because it loses some sun. We are putting out pollen on the popcorn now. Unfortunately, it doesn't help me if I've got no ears to pollinate, so much for that. Probably on account of the fact that it's only in 6 inches of dirt and it's probably root bound by now. Another mulberry right there, and that in the corner is some kind of a bulb. What do we got here? We got peanuts galore. They've already put out all their flowers, been pollinated, and I am getting ready to dig those out sometime soon. This here's echinacea. That'll be kind of cool. I want to make tea with that eventually. I would like to get a tea plant. Unfortunately, I can't seem to get my hands on the seeds for them anyplace. That back there is basil. You'll notice that there's some similar ones growing over there. More elephant garlic in that bucket back there. Barely see the tips coming out. Down there in this bucket here, we've got oregano, basil, cucumbers. I don't think the cucumbers ever sprouted though. And one of my marigolds. Interesting story is, if you see that little half a leaf right there, that's one of the seed leaves. When I first planted it, it grew to a couple of inches tall. Next thing I knew, it was actually a grasshopper eventually I found out, came by and ate all of the leaves except for that one half a leaf. I managed to save the plant, and she eventually grew into this and has finally put out one of her little petite flowers. This here is my zucchini. If you look at that, that's the size of those leaves. My neighbors planted the same thing. They're growing with chemicals and Miracle-Gro, and apparently it's not doing very well because their leaves are only about 1/4 to maybe 1/3 of the size of mine. I've got a whole lot more going on underneath too. There's flowers that show up every few days, but unfortunately the hot weather just beats them into oblivion. I got lettuce. Do I ever? I got a bunch of lettuce right here. I got some Crispy Frills lettuce right there. I think this is supposed to be romaine, but I'm not really sure. It might be Grand Rapids or I don't know. There's 3 kinds of lettuce in here, and that's one kind, this is one kind, and that's one kind. These are Crispy Frills, but they're not doing very well. They do not like the heat. They wilt every day. This is my little stash of oregano, I think. I think that's oregano. Yeah, that's oregano. Tastes good too. That is, actually that needs to get replanted too to a new pot because it's too small right now. This here is Brussels sprouts, but they've had a serious beating from the heat every day, plus some critters, but I can't really move them because if I move the plants, then they'll be exposed back to the sunlight of every day, and it just kills them when I've got mosquitoes out here biting me up. These are grape tomatoes, grown from seed that I found in a grape tomato. Back here we've got broccoli. Been hit by leaf miners, as you can see, the little squiggle lines. Still doing well though, overall. And coming around the back side, we got some pak choi. Does not like the heat at all, and it dies every single time, so I'm giving up on that one. I've got quinoa right here. This is cool stuff. They grow in South America, apparently. These here are my tomato plants. I've got 10 or 12 tomatoes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, we got like 12 of them right now. This is basil. It's all flowering. I've already harvested a ton of it, but it grows like a weed, so it's useful. Parsley, sage, oregano, some other stuff. I think thyme is down there as well. That there is the citrus, what is it called? Tangerines, that's what they are. Alright. Over here we got this guy. I'll post better pictures of it on Facebook, but she's on her way out now, as you can see. But that was my sunflower, so go look on my Facebook page if you want to see some pictures of it when it was still in its prime. This here is my cantaloupe plant. If it was with a male, I would have some cantaloupes by now, but instead I've just got a 9-foot plus vine growing on 6-foot stakes. I've got 3 bound together at the top. As you can see, I've got the 3 down there. And yeah, she's pretty big. She was trying to climb up on the roof, and I had to pull her back down, and well, that's why she's grown longer than the tips of all of the sticks, so. That is the garden. I've got some more stuff out back, but not much, just a little bit more lettuce and some pearl onions that have flowered and have gone to seed, so. In the meantime, though, that's what we got. Probably won't be able to grow anymore next year on account of moving into a smaller apartment with no place to grow, unless one of my neighbors decides to let me grow in their place. This will probably be it for now. Some of this will actually get planted over in the neighbors. The guy that lives on the other side of that house, he's got a little garden out front, and I'm going to plant probably those marigolds, because he does flowers mostly. He doesn't really do vegetables, but I'll probably do those. And maybe the tomatoes or something over there. And I'm probably going to keep my strawberries because it took me so freaking long to get those to grow. So that's that. Y'all have fun, and I'll show you another video some other time. There might be less the next time I come around, though, on account of the fact that the weather's just getting way too hot here, and I'm having to chop stuff down.